What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? My peeps, my peoples, we are in the building, peep squad. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. My peeps, my peoples, we is in the building. We are late, but we is rocking, baby. Okay, let's get down to the situation. OMG, let's get into the sad news. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe what I heard. I couldn't believe what I was reading. But in any event, what's up, Rashida Libra? How you doing, Miss Nina Bug? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's good with you? But in any event, it's good to see all of you guys here. Thank you for your support and thank you for coming out, baby. But in any event, let's get to this sad news. Let's get to this situation. So you guys know who Brooke Bailey is, and unfortunately she had suffered a tragic loss. She lost her daughter, 25 years old, in a car accident. Like, this is crazy. Like, for real. Like, I feel I send my condolences out to Brooke Bailey. She was recently on Basketball Wives, and she's been making her rounds and coming back into reality TV, doing podcasts and things of that nature. And Brooke, she kind of got like a little bit of something. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell that she's a no nonsense and she ain't for them games. At the same time, she'll strap. She can go down back and forth. She can read. She can pluck you and blase in the third. But when you meet her children, and when we met her two adult children, which is Kayla Nicole, I believe her name is, and the son on the show, like, I was like, oh my OMG, like, it was so, I mean, her kids are so different. You can tell that Brooke has a TV life, entertainment life, how she makes her money, but when it comes to raising her kids, she raised them properly. The way they spoke, the way they handled the whole situation, how they talked to their mother, they was very articulate. They was charismatic, and they seemed very knowledgeable, and having their head right on their shoulders, like, they can make decisions and things of that nature, that they came from good stock, they came from a good background. But it's really unfortunate that she lost her firstborn, her daughter. And it's just, I was like, OMG. And this happened Saturday night. Like, this gotta be like, this is terribly difficult for anybody to deal with, especially at 25 years old. She hasn't even lived her life, and then it's a car accident. You know what I mean? And we've been hearing a lot about accidents and things of that nature, where people are just leaving this earth through cars and car accident and things of that nature. That's when I be saying, I'm praying for your safe travels on the highways and the byways, because it seems like being on the road, you got so many people from different walks of life that are on the road driving, not paying attention, under the influence, stressed out. You got all types of people having illnesses and being sick, some people being intoxicated, some people running away from the crime scene, or you just never know, just driving reckless for no reason at all. They're having seizures, they're having panic attacks, passing out, and things of that nature. So, this is really unfortunate that, Brooke Bailey lost her daughter. Saturday night she died, basically because of the injuries that she sustained in the car accident. She was only 25 years old. And, it's just really, there's nothing that you can do, nothing that you can really say. It's just support the person, because this is going to be a trouble and difficult time for Brooke Bailey to go through, because no parent plans on losing their child before them, and then also planning on being on this earth for all these many years and not having your firstborn with you and your child. That's very difficult. But Brooke, she posted to Instagram, and she said, "Forever my baby, pretty black, aka Kayla Nicole Bailey. This is not goodbye. Mommy will see you soon." And I was like, OMG, you already know, like, that's just what she's going through, is just really a tragic situation all the way together. Like, OMG. Like, you don't wish anything like this, on your worst enemy or anything of that nature. So it's just really sad for, Brooke Bailey to, lose her daughter. I mean, shit. Talking about terrible news, the worst news that you can get. Yeah. Baby. But her daughter was, so beautiful, so pretty. And not only was she beautiful and pretty, she was articulate, and she was able to talk and express herself and have like just a nice personality, like a young girl that you would want, your daughters to hang with, or your nieces or your nephews to hang with, and things of that nature. You see, Tahiri, she came in the comments, and also Miss Little Miss Golden. You got your girl JT from City Girls, and I was just like, Brooke is going through it. Like this is, this is one of these situations where it's just really sad. You got Charlie, she's there too. Tiffany Fox is there. I'm like, OMG. A lot of, Evelyn Lozada came through, Shay Mack came through, Amber Rose, Toya Johnson, Nicki Minaj, Hazel E, I Am Juju. A lot of people came through to show her some support, that are in the same business that she's in. Megan James, I don't know if Shakana, Jackie Chrissy, Duffy, and Malaysia. Masika. Masika, you've been acting up this week, Lord. Niecy Nash is up in the building. Shawnee O'Neal came through. I don't know if let me see if you guys could see it. I think you could see. Shamia, it's just really, really, really unfortunate. Emily B, it's just really sad. We send our prayers, our condolences to Brooke Bailey and her family, because this is a tragic loss. This is a hard loss. Trying to bury a 25-year-old, your firstborn, your daughter, beautiful, sweet, didn't deserve anything like this to ever happen. And why did it happen? How did this happen? And then, parents, we blame ourselves for things and things. It's going to be a difficult road, but it's just really unfortunate. And so, we talked about that real quick. We sent our prayers, Hey, what's up, Justin? What's going on? What's going on, White? How you doing? What's going on? Rashida Lieber's in the building. What's up, Lorraine? How you doing? She is absolutely beautiful. I know. She is, like, she's like a Barbie. She's beautiful than a Barbie. You know what I mean? Her daughter is beautiful. She was beautiful on the show. It's like, oh my God, look what Brooke got. Let me see. So let me bring it down. Okay, so this is, I don't want to be up in her, think I clicked on Brooke. But yeah, she had the pictures. I'll go back to the pictures. It's just really unfortunate. So let's get to this situation. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of, yes, it is terrible, for real, for real. This is a whole terrible, sad situation, point blank, period. Oh Lord, it just knocked the wind out of me. And I was like, what? Like, for real? That's nothing but pain right there. That's nothing but pain and anguish for it's gonna be like that for a while, unless God comes down here and heal her heart. But that shit is hard to do, baby. It's hard to cope with shit like that, because that's a tremendous loss. It's your baby. So let's get into this situation. So, the reunion, basically, you could say the reunion was, Shereé and Drew and what's her name? Marlo Hampton, because basically Drew was in every segment arguing, beefing with somebody, or had an issue. Go ahead, Drew. Drew was, you might say Drew is the name that pays. Drew was out here just swinging and dangling. Marlo was out here giving soliloquies. She was out here giving monologues. She was on an apology tour, a diss tour, Poor Me tour. Like, Lord, Shereé was up in there. Shereé couldn't wait to argue with anybody. Only person she wasn't arguing with was Marlo and what's her name? Miss Sonia. Other than that, Shereé said Kandi is fair game, baby. Okay, Shereé says when it comes to Drew, it's fair game. Like, Lord have mercy. Like, this was a mess. A total mess. And, once again, they tried to make it seem like Kenya was the villain of the show. No support, no nothing. Like, they gonna bring that man out there like that, and he speaking his piece, and he's acting like he's like he's the coming of Jesus and shit. Like he's just so perfect, like he just so good, like he didn't do nothing wrong. And then the man said his goddamn self that his behavior, he understood why how Kenya can felt the way that she felt, but nobody on that damn stage could understand or relate to what Kenya had to say. You got Marlo pulling out the car. You a man, Todd. You a man. You know what I mean? And and then that gave Ralph, to basically to get, a little itchy, a little scratchy with Shereé. But Shereé, y'all saying that y'all like when a man yell and scream at you. Okay, so Kenya was the only one, and she had to dial back and basically be like, you know what? All right, he's a good man, this and that. That's the first time I seen her back crack up at all, because they're making it seem like she's calling this black man out to be a villain, and he's aggressive, and you see this is she's feeding into the stereotype. And then Andy bring him out like, oh, you was defending your wife, oh, how was that for you? Like, Andy, shut up. Like, I'm just like, yo, like, y'all pissed me off. Like, oh, how was it? Oh, Kenya, how did you feel that he was defending his wife? Like, you motherfuckers ain't shit. I swear, Lord, I swear. I swear. Yes, please hit the like button. So let's get into the show. So we got this situation where Shereé, she called Anthony's playing games. Anthony wanted to be used. Anthony's like him being used. Shereé done used Anthony. And Drew was using Anthony. Anthony's basically, he running around Atlanta talking about, I've been on Basketball Wife. Y'all may not have seen me, but this time y'all done seen me on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Shereé's a fool, and also Drew's a fool. And then he's talking about Drew. Drew's talking about she paid, for his car. She gave him his last check and shit. And she basically saying that, she paid him. And he's saying that Drew did not pay him. Lord have mercy. Shereé got the man on speed dial. And Andy's all up in Shereé's phone. Ain't it COVID out here? Ain't they germs? Ain't they monkeypox and all this other stuff? Just touching her phone. Shereé's like, come on, Andy, come through with me. I'm just like, Lord. No, they don't. They never do. That's what's up, Pamela. Because Drew's an easy target, but Drew basically, she's swinging, but Drew also, she's just like one of them people that leaves a trail of breadcrumbs for you to just come and just eat them up. You know what I mean? Hey, Miss Robin Walker, how you doing? What's going on? So in any event, so we got this situation. Andy done hung up on Anthony, and so now, Andy's acting like he really cared, acting like he's putting his me mug on, and he's basically really questioning Drew. Well, Anthony said that he said he possibly, or he don't remember, but really, which means that he did say it. Okay, so he did say it, and now Andy hasn't been tough throughout these questions. He hasn't really been, going fast forward with the questions. You know what I mean? He's been, the way that he is basically questioning Drew and everything, he's like stud fast on it. He wants to hear an answer, and almost like he's calling her out, like, he's the principal at this time. He don't be pushing nobody else like that. Or like, leave me alone, Andy. So in any event, he want to get to the bottom line of this shitty story. So in any event, so we have this whole situation. I'm like, I'm about to talk mess. Messy Anthony was backpedaling his tail off. Yes, he was. He was playing both of them, getting a dime, getting a quarter. He probably got more money out of Drew than he did get with Shereé. Okay, Andy knows racism allegations are not out there. You better tread lightly. Ooh, girl, facts. What's up, Henderson? How you doing? I'm just like, Lord, For real, like, it just be way too much going on. And so now he's questioning her, like, he's the principal. He really want to answer, like, he really cares. Like, we can't tell that Anthony done use both for them, and they both use Anthony too as well to create a storyline. It is what it is. What does Shereé have for a storyline? None. Drew could have went with her husband, her husband being an asshole, gaslighting, and also she could have made more of a big deal out of that goddamn book. Okay, but she wanted to add some spice. Sometimes Drew do too much. Sometimes she is enough. She just got to understand that sometimes her being herself is enough. She don't have to add the extra sugar, honey, iced tea, as Miss Felicia Butler would say. You know what I mean? She has to add all that on when she don't need to add all that on. What's up, Ralph? How you doing? What's going on? What's up? Hey, Miss Nina Buck, I lost track of time. I know I deleted my whole computer and had to bring it all back by accident. I just hit the wrong button. I was going to be on time. I hate when I have to say that, but I was going to be on time, y'all. But I hit the wrong button. I was ready to hit the live button. I hit the delete button. Everything deleted. Then I had to go run and call all my peoples, tell me what to do to get this shit back. And I end up getting it back, and then blah, blah, blah. It's the time that it is. Lord have mercy. If I don't got a lot of excuses, I don't know what the hell to say. But in any event, maybe I'm down with Drew because Drew got an excuse for everything. But in any event, So Andy wants to be all like, all on the situation. Then we got Marlo shady ass bringing up emails about somebody saying that she didn't pay. I'm just like, Lord have mercy. So Anthony basically said he possibly did say that Ralph was gay, but he don't believe that he's gay. And Shereé used that. And also, what's her name? Fatum, she used that too as well for a storyline. And Shereé used the situation where, Drew used a situation where she can say that Shereé don't pay her bills. You know what I mean? And so basically they used Anthony used them, but it seems like Anthony may have got more money out of Drew if it's true, because Drew said that she paid for his call when it was about to get repoed. Okay. And Shereé saying that Anthony said that he did not get paid by Drew and he's looking for his last check. Anthony ain't nothing but a shady bird, baby. He ain't nothing but a shady bird. Robin Walker, I'm sick of Andy. I know he got on my nerves. I get, what's up? Like, all good. I'm glad you're all good, Rashida Libra. So, you got that whole situation going on. So they're going back and forth. And, I'm just like, oh, here we go. And so, it's just like, come on, like, we really gonna spend this much time on now? We could have been asking more questions, better questions. It really wasn't like well, we know that they both need storylines. Like, come on. Like, and Andy trying to push it like this is really a story. We know Drew sometimes add everything onto it, and Shereé adds completely anything and everything that she can add on to have a story. So why we focus on this mess, I don't know. We could have got to some deeper shit, but we didn't. So you got that whole situation. Then Drew's basically saying, well, he said that he don't remember. He didn't say that he said, and Shereé said, yes, he did. He said that, and he said that you didn't give him his last check, and he said this, and he's the one that told me. And then Drew said, I paid him. I'm gonna post my bank statements. Okay. I'm gonna post my bank statements while Marlo pulled up something. So Marlo was sitting over there being shady in the corner, baby. And Drew, this is the girl that you call and you talk to about your marital situation and your husband situation. Why would you even be trying to get advice from Marlo? Why would you even think that she would be worthy of a conversation? Why would you even want to know her opinion on anything? If it don't have to do with fashion, then don't call her, okay? Don't call her. So Marlo's sitting over there. You got Shereé talking about, yeah, I heard you don't pay your bills either. I was like, damn, they just double teaming you, Drew, just sitting there, just double teaming Drew, baby. Drew, Drew sitting over there getting double teamed. And then Marlo messy ass is pulling up everything. Marlo's pulling it up. I'm just like, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess. What a shame. Let me see where I'm at. Okay. So I'm just like, okay, girl, like, come on, Drew. But Drew be rolling with the punches, baby. Drew definitely be rolling. She be rolling. She be rolling. She's rolling with the situation. She got an answer for everything, baby. She got an answer. And so we got Drew and Shereé going back and forth like it's something that, is very interesting. If it was something else, you know what I mean, or some other tea, and then Marlo, she's pulling up the emails, and basically Shereé is calling out, Drew saying, girl, Marlo was DM'd, so Marlo knew that this was gonna come up. Marlo had the phone on ready, basically pulling the receipts, and and so they go back to the clip where you got Sonya reading, oh, this the woman, she want her money back, and Drew has done this to more people. This chef is looking for her money back, and Drew and her husband are low down dirty people, and I want you to help me get this out there. So you got Marlo that don't give a damn about Drew. Then you got what's her name, Sonya, that faked it to be her friend to only turn around and throw mashed potatoes and throw knives at her. Okay, sitting there reading it. So it's just like So Drew already knew, and Shereé got her back up. Who? Sonya and Marlo. So you got that whole situation. I was like And so, Drew was like, well, you can't believe everything that you read online. Drew said something like that, or that's not true. That person doesn't work for me. And then Shereé said, well, girl, you can't be believing everything online, so you shouldn't be believing everything that Anthony says. Same thing for you, Shereé. So both of y'all are sitting out here believing anything and everything. But I think Shereé was trying to make the point that people do be lying, and you can't be listening to what they be saying and things of that nature. So I was just like, okay, but Marlo, she definitely had the phone ready to bring up the, the email. And, so basically it's saying that Drew don't pay either. So Drew and Shereé got something in common. So what y'all think about that? Then Drew turns around and said, well, people been sending me cash out because they want me to watch your sex tape. Shereé said, bring it on, girl. I want to see myself. I want to see it. And then Andy's all laughing because, Shereé's acting like a pet and a wild, nasty cat. Because Andy has kind of been, behaving himself without talking about. There ain't been no penis for Andy to talk about on this show so far this season. Yes, sure, Mary Jane. She's going to get tough skin. Yes, she is. She's gonna have to. Hey, what's up, Just T? Please, what's up, Tony? How you doing? What's good with you? You too much, Lord. That's why she didn't feel like doing no clothing line. Anthony played with both Shereé and Drew. Yes, he did. But they both knew what the dilly was. They both knew the dilly. And Kandi knew the dilly too, but she didn't say nothing to, Drew to tell her, girl, don't even use that boy's tea. But they probably was like, use all the tea that you could possibly have. Make up any so that you can make up. Let's just put the shit up out here. Let's do something, get the season going. And so in any event, so we got them going back and forth, and Marlo's chiming in like, yeah, you ain't paid your bills. Like, Lord. And so, Sheree's not worried about no sex tape at all. And Shereé says she would love to see it. And, basically that's the whole situation. Then Shereé was called out in the comments, one of the questions, basically calling her a hypocrite. Because why is she saying that, why should Kandi be mad when somebody's calling her a hoe? And Shereé basically was like, well, I'm not mad. She's like, so you're a hypocrite because basically you saying that Kandi should be okay with being called a whore. And, do you like people calling you, saying that you don't pay? And Shereé was like, girl, I don't care what people say. That don't bother me. They need to come up with something new. Shereé don't care because Shereé ain't gonna pay you, okay? Shereé ain't paid you that $30 that she owed for a cake. Shereé, you think Shereé gonna pay? Shereé ain't paying. Shereé letting you know that she ain't paying you, point blank, period. That's the whole that's the whole situation with that. And basically Shereé responds, she's basically saying Kandi shouldn't be upset when people call her a whore. And she's not, and basically Shereé wasn't taking back what she basically said about Kandi, and that was point blank, period, that whole situation. And she said she don't care what the people say. They need to come up with something new. They need to come up with some new content, girl. Then you need to come up with some content for the show, baby. You need to come up with some content for them clothes, baby. What you talking about? Oh, girl. Yes, please. Please don't show Sheree's sex tape. There's her M. And see why a lot of people don't like Fatum. Yes, you can see. Yes, Lakeisha, you can see, definitely. Why not? Marlo sure will say anything that comes out her pea brain, Lord. I remember when Kenya said Marlo brain is as big as a net. You know how small that is? I am disappointed in Kenya and Kandi. Why didn't they have Drew back? Because, it was every man for itself. It was just that situation. It was every man for itself. It seems like nobody really, people came in trusting or thinking that it was going to be cool, and it totally went a whole nother way. And people didn't really want to get into that down and dirty, nasty, get back what they have to do with Marlo. And evidently Marlo knows some things, but we know that Marlo basically brought her way into the group, y'all. She brought her way right into the group. Go ahead, Marlo, paying to get into the group. So, in any event, Sheree's basically not taking back anything that she has said about Kandi or anything of that nature. So, everything that she has said about Kandi throughout the season, we have not seen Shereé apologize to Kandi at all. And basically, she's telling Kandi she shouldn't be upset. Like, what? And so then Drew was basically feeling a certain type of way because Drew, and so Drew feeling a certain type of way because Drew wants, Drew said we supposed to do 50%. We supposed to do 50%. And Drew's basically saying, what about this cake? Like, and Drew and Shereé, now they continue to go back and forth on the situation. And Shereé said that she ain't paying $30 for the cake. And Shereé said that you want to be friends with everybody, you want to buy yourself in the group, you want to buy friends, you want to make new friends. I don't need to do that. I got kids to take care of. I got this to take care of. I got all this to take care of. You wanted to be a show off, yeah, but if she would have came with something raggedy, you'd have running your mouth. But now and what she did wasn't even overly exaggerated. You know what I mean? It was little shit. It was small shit. It's not like big stuff, like big fancy, huge stuff. And she only spent what, $1,200, $1,600, for you guys and your lifestyle and being on this show and being so classy, and people want to live through, y'all wealth and what you got going on. You not even want to go half on it. It's just like, damn, Shereé, you just need to go somewhere else because you making us think about our life and shit like that. Like, you just stunting on people. You just, basically not paying your bills and being okay with it. You know what I mean? I could be one of the people working on somebody in my family, somebody watching the show, or somebody, in Peep Squad, do some work for you, and you just stiff them up, and not even care. Like, damn. Like, that's shady. That's real shady. But it's basically, and it's also giving Black people a bad name that they don't pay their bills when we pay our bills. And Black people are like the best tippers. Most of us, I know I tip good. I know everybody I do, run with tip good and stuff like that, making it seem like we just dingy. We don't want to pay. We just make people work for free. Like, Lord. And you in Atlanta, so basically you're doing this to a lot of Black people. Like, that don't look good. That's not a good look for the show. But I guess they want her to play that role as being the broke mama on the show. But in any event, I was just like, okay, like, this is way too much. And so Drew and so Drew said she wants to be reimbursed. And Shereé said, like, you be making up stuff, you be hearing stuff, getting it wrong. Like Anthony and Drew says, I am one of the people that Shereé owes now. So basically Drew threw that shade, was like, yo, listen, I'm one of them people that Shereé owes in the streets that you be hearing about. I'm like, what? Like, Lord? Like, for real? I'm like, yes, baby, Libra. Okay, so let me go down more. Marlo acted like she couldn't remember paying to get on. I know, which was a real sad situation. Marlo faking it. She gonna turn around and ask Andy. Andy said, girl, you paid your own way. That was a setup, Marlo. That was a setup. They had to pull something out the hat for Kandi and Todd, okay? Because you went hard on them. Shereé, Marlo, Kenya would not come on Kandi's Shereé, Marlo, Kenya would not come on Kandi speak on it. I don't think they are feeling her. Well, last year Kenya went over there on Speak on It, Lorraine, and that was like the highest rated views. She was like number one, and then Marlo came in about number two. Then Latoya forever, she was at number two with the numbers of like the people that went to go watch Speak on It with Kandi. This season they haven't came over there because Marlo went, and Kenya went last year, and who else? Cynthia Bailey went, and Shereé ain't going over there because Shereé don't like Kandi. Shereé letting us all know that she don't mess with her. Point blank, period. I mean, when I say don't mess with her, she ain't trying to beg up and be up in her face. Shereé's just gonna walk back and forth, like she gonna say, how you doing, whatever. She gonna greet you the same way you greet her. And that's how Shereé gonna do it with Kandi. Marlo would degrade Kandi really bad and then cry and then want to be your friend again. You know what I mean? Except for Shereé, she's cheap as hell. She and you are arch nemesis. I know, Lakeisha. Robin Walker, I'm still mad. We don't know how Marlo makes her money to pay her way on that show. Lord, you know how she made her money, baby. She was in these streets, baby. She was doing the things, baby. She had the tricks up her sleeves, baby. Oh, she had the midnight hour oil burning, baby. Let me stop. So we got the arch enemies going at each other. Yeah, Kenya was the highest rated speaker. If you see me, see Miss Nita, but you be looking at that shit too. I be doing that too. She was the highest rated, and then another one came up that passed her video, but hers was the highest rated for like a year, for like a whole year. Kandi haven't even been on her show as much. She had her friends host sometimes. Yeah, that do be happening. She be busy. She be catching them checks, cashing them checks. She be cashing them checks, baby. And plus the piano. I don't know. Have you guys seen that to play? But in any event, moving on from that situation. So we still got the caddy ladies going at the caddiness. And so Juice said, I just want my money. I'm just asking about my money. And Shereé said, well, you know what? Guess what? Hold your breath and wait for it. And everybody just laughs. It's like, that's some ignorant shit that you heard back when you was a child. Your mama used to say shit like that to you when you was a child long time ago. That's some down south southern shit right there. Hold your breath and wait on it. She was tricking. She and Lord Rashida Libra. I've never seen NeNe speak on it. Yeah, NeNe's never been on there either. Picture that with NeNe over there, baby. Y'all know I want all the sorted details on everything, Lord. So excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. And so now we get to okay, so we got that whole situation. So that was a diss. And then there was a question asked, to Shereé. Like, I think the question was asked to Shereé. I think the question was asked, how come people couldn't understand where Drew was actually coming from when Fatum basically came at Drew? How come nobody understood? Because nobody wanted to be a part of it. Fatum looked crazy. Fatum was doing, Fatum was over there on Speak On, and she gave a whole nother story or whatever the case may be. But Fatum was wilding out. She was acting crazy. She looked like, there was something going on. Something was wrong. If that's her normal behavior, that's her normal get down, then she's a crazy mother sucker and you don't want her around. You only need her around with a collar on, okay? So in any event, that question was asked, how come nobody felt upset? And then Kandi and Kenya said, yes, we do feel upset about, that happening. But, and then ultimately, Shereé, I don't know if Shereé even said, if she felt sorry about that. I don't think Shereé said she felt sorry about that. So in any event, you had Marlo, she was co-signing Fatum's behavior, and you had Sonia co-signing Fatum's behavior. Only two people that said that they didn't agree with her behavior was Kandi and Kenya. But I don't think Kandi and Kenya wanted to stick their neck out for Drew. I don't think they think is worth enough. And they probably seen the play that was already been set up where, Marlo and Shereé and Sonia was, they was going to be tag team, and it was going to have each other's back and go against the other girls. And so Kandi, Kenya basically really just defended Kandi here and there. And Kandi, she defended Drew one time, but then she, stayed quiet on anything that, Kenya went through, because she wanted to have equality. She didn't want to look like she was on a team when the other girls was teaming up, throwing the ball, playing catch, running back and forth, tackling, hitting goalies, and things of that nature. So, I just think that Kenya was not going to stick her neck out for Drew, because her and Drew just basically got back on a good page. And we saw them say that because, Drew said that she's seen Kenya more on Dancing with the Stars, and she looks so good. She looks so happy. And they were talking about how Kenya looks, she looks resilient. She looks so good. She seems so happy. And so, they started to have their friendship. So to expect Kenya to jump at her, to, have her back like that, especially especially when she's still kind of like not on stable ground. But I'd have just fucking hating Marlo. I would have just been throwing all types of rocks. But Kenya threw a little stuff here, a little stuff there, but it was very like you really couldn't see it like that. You know what I mean? You have to be paying close attention because she was kind of like, under her breath a little bit. But then she, when it came to the girls, but Kenya was there when she cussed out Ralph. You know what I mean? She cussed Ralph ass out. And Ralph is a whole mess. Ralph is a whole mess. But in any event, so that question was asked. And then I think Kandi said, you know, that I guess she said she did stick up for her. I don't really know what Kandi. Oh, Kandi did say that, Kandi and Kenya both did say that situation was wrong, but the other girls didn't, say anything about that. And then Drew and Shereé, Drew said, Shereé, I wanted you to say that it's not okay. Shereé said, I don't own that girl. I can't control her behavior. I can't tell her what to do and things of that nature. And Drew said, everything was laughable. You should have told her that it was laughable. And then Drew, that conversation was okay, but then Drew got to take it a whole nother level and say something stupid. And Drew has to say, well, it was laughable because, it's a Ralph Sr. and there's a Ralph Jr. That's the junior and the senior. And then, that the lady not Dolores, but Danielle could have been mistaken for, Dolores or something like that. So it was like, why did you have to bring that up, Drew? But I guess Drew wanted to bring it up to make it clear, but it made it seem like it could have been true. You know what I mean? You could have still just been acting like whatever, Fatum found over there on doing a background check wasn't even on you or whatever. But she tried to, clear it up. I guess that's what she wanted to do, but it almost made it look like, because it's pointless because everybody's thinking you lying. So you don't even got to jump out and step out. And then it just seems like, that's, they was talking about the senior because his ex-wife, is Dolores or something like that. Or, she should have just left that whole situation alone, but she didn't. And so then Shereé said, I got the information, your assistant was talking about you. Your assistant, was telling everybody everything too as well. So, Drew and that whole Fatum situation was just messed up. And then Shereé is like, oh, you just so scared of Fatum. You scared of Fatum. Like, nobody's scared of Fatum. If you can get your opponent out of the whole game and have one less opponent, because she's going to go toe to toe with you back and forth. So what's the whole point, having an extra person when you can remove that person? So basically, you can say Drew was scared, or you can say Drew didn't want this and that, but Shereé eliminated somebody that was going to be, tag teaming her with you. She already got Marlo, and Marlo wants to jump in a tag team, and then she has Sonya, and then she got you, Shereé, and then Fatum, that's 4 against 1. That's 4 against 1. So if she can play and get Fatum out of there, why not use your power to get somebody off the show off? Because they basically trying to get the spotlight. They're trying to go viral off of you. And you got 4 people you battling. And then plus you battling your husband as well. And Ralph, this is why you need to be more respectful to your wife. This is why you need to always cherish her in public and don't bring up her faults in front of other people, because she got another people on her back, and she has to do with more of the publicity than you do, and they be riding her while you be sitting back doing whatever the hell you do, watching the house and shit like that on camera, when you can basically be sitting up in a room with your family instead of watching them. So in any event, Shereé don't like success, Miss Nina Bug Lorraine. She is probably jealous that Kandi stays on and she doesn't, Miss Nina Bug. Shereé don't like success. Lord, I had to read that again. I don't think Ralph wants to be with Drew. Oh, Lord. I don't think he got a choice right now, okay? And, it could also go into the point why he don't want to adopt, because there might be an exit plan that he's trying to make. But it does seem like they do love each other, because they did get married. He did help raise Josiah. They got a kid together. They're living this life. They're building something. So you don't do something with somebody that you don't do all that stuff for just a contract. And it's not like they are multi-millionaires and things of that nature. She's helping him more than he's helping her. But sometimes when you help a man, what he do? He build up and move on. Sometimes that happens. I'm beginning to wonder myself at Ralph. Hey, what's up, Kim? How you doing? Ralph, he looks sorry at he apologized. He looked sorry when he apologized to Drew. Lord, Ralph, Robin Walker. The way Ralph moving, I had to wonder, do he really want Drew, Lord? Lord. Tonight I was proud of Ralph. I just hope he being real with Drew. You know, he's faking it for the cameras because homeboy, what's his name? Ross, dapped him up, Lorray. I felt that too. His apology seemed sincere. So you felt like it was sincere. I thought Ralph was bullshitting, in my opinion. Um, Jew don't need Ralph. Lorray, yes, he did apologize. He is trying to find the right time to exit. Oh God, Lord have mercy. So, you have you have this whole situation. So it's, where am I at? So it's just, I'm somewhere. So that's the Shereé bit, and and that bit is not going to, be over. So, it's just a whole lot going on in this whole situation. Okay. Let me just see something is yeah, I think something kind of like messed up. So that's that part. So, okay. So, in any event, moving on from that situation, Drew basically jumping in there and bringing that up, that was just too much. And then there was a question asked to Drew, like, oh, why did you bring all these props? Why are you causing commotion everywhere you go? And Drew basically says, I'm an actress. I like to bring, props. I love my props. I love having props. That's just going to be what it's going to be in the situation. Then they talked about Shereé. Shereé made a post and basically saying that Drew stole her props from the sets that refused to hire her. At least she's going on job interviews. At least she's going on, auditions. Shereé, the verdict's out about you. We still don't know what's going on. So Drew's basically saying, listen, I like to have props. I just like to do that. So it is what it is. And and then Drew said that she was very surprised to see, Sonia and, Shereé show up to her house and be at her house, after she, hurt her Achilles heel and things of that. She was shocked, but, she liked it. And so they end that portion on a good note. And she didn't understand why, but she was like, okay, it is what it is. And then Drew and Shereé had a little conversation about Anthony, but the conversation about Anthony was wasn't really much. Basically they realized that they both got played, they both used him for a storyline, and at the end of the day, he's making his way around the whole situation. So Anthony, kudos to you, because I know you run around in the circles and you important now. You've been on 3 reality TV shows, okay? So you got that whole situation. And then we got Andy wants to ask Ralph about a massage. Drew feels a certain type of way about that situation. That's kind of like, excuse me, pointing out that is just like, okay. But in any event, Ralph handled it very well. He spoke like he was supposed to. Andy was like, where can I get a massage at? You don't need to ask Ralph, you shady mother sucker. Andy, you don't need to ask Ralph for where you can get a massage from. You know all the places, all the holes in the walls, everything, the underground, all this other stuff. You trying to be shady, trying to be funny, and it's like everybody be pulling at Drew, trying to make butt jokes out of her whole situation. No, she take this shit to the whore. No, just she be dealing with stuff. Y'all, she's telling you she's walking on eggshells and shit like that. So in any event, Andy was being shady, but Ralph did responded well. He says, I could definitely do that, but I would have to get the cosign from my wife first. Okay. And so Drew was happy about that. She liked the way that, he responded to the whole situation. And that's why she clapped and she was happy that he did that. So that was cute. He's been training. Todd Tucker looked like he tired. He's stressed out. He didn't want to be at that damn reunion because what they going to talk about Mama's Joyce. They're going to talk about Kandi. Don't want him to get married, talk about money. And then basically people still thinking he's broke. He's not making any money. He's not bringing no money in. You know what I mean? So he's just like effing, and Candy's kind of serious, like, boy, this is my job. We got to get ready to show up. I was like, Kandi, he could have stayed drunk. You know what I mean? He probably would have been more fun at, if he was drunk. Well, in any event, you see, he tired. Todd is tired, but they're working. They're doing the piano with starring Samuel L. Jackson, you know and that's a big production, and they're both producing the actual play or TV show, whatever it is. And she got a lot of actors and actresses on that got some good names, y'all. So in any event, Todd is just tired. He don't want to do this shit no more. He got Mama Joyce still coming at him. And then we get on to this man. We get on to Mr. Ross. And so Andy asks Mr. Ross, like, how was it when it came to, your fatherhood, dealing with children, how to raise, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I don't talk. He had the deep voice on too, like the deep voice, like he don't do nothing wrong. Like he don't raise his voice, like he don't yell at everybody. Like he's so clear, like he's so stern. Like, we had to get on the same page, okay? I called my mama. My mama told me that I could be a father and she can have him to be her little baby. Everywhere. What bullshit did he say, y'all? What bullshit did he say? Like, they killing me. They killing me. And so, so we have that whole situation. I'm just like, oh God. So, he did a good job too. We ain't gonna, he did a good job with, captivating people. And he captivate Andy. Andy was leaning on his every word. They also wanted to make him, look friendly because, NeNe Leakes won and she went to the bank. So they don't want nobody coming up, saying, I look like, an aggressive black man. You know what I mean? They don't want that stigma. He don't want to co-sign that. And so we got that whole situation. And then Andy said, how was it like for you? The way that you jumped in, the way that you protected your wife, the way that you was there for her. How did that feel that you was there in that moment with her? Just making out to be like it was something so sexy, was something that was just astounding. Like it was something that, men ain't never did before. And it was something like just so amazing. The man done cursed. He done swore, hit the table, and yelling at ladies that's asking his wife a question. You gonna tell me your wife is that weak that she can't speak up for herself? It's a catty little conversation that's going on at the dinner table that these ladies get paid to get at the dinner table, drink, eat, get married, and basically talk mess. That's what they get paid for. And basically you just a sideline, you know what I mean? And then you jump into it, then you cut it out. Imagine if your wife was able to read good. Imagine if wife was able to have a comeback. It would have been more of a moment for her that she can actually talk about, and it wouldn't have been about you and you being aggressive and things of that nature if you would have let her handle her business and basically show why she should be on this show when she got none other than Shereé and Kenya basically asking her questions about the situation. Why couldn't she talk it out? Why could she handle that? So basically it just shows us that she weak, baby, and you had to jump in, and so therefore she's not really cut out for the situation. Then she knew she messed up by having you do that, or you doing that she tried to call out Kenya later on in the trip, at the dinner, talk about what's up, Kenya. And then Kenya made her realize, who Kenya is and what she come to do. And she don't play no games because you ain't got the intelligence. Okay. You don't see good. All right. So we got that whole situation. You jumping in thinking like, oh, you created a moment, but you also took a moment from your wife. Imagine if she was able to have that. She could have came out looking like the innocent victim, looking like she was being attacked, looking like she handled her business in so many different ways, but we didn't get to see that. You know why? Because you wanted to jump in and save. When she gonna have to do this over and over if you still want to live comfortably with 9 people in the house, if you want to get another house to put, maybe the grandmama, the grandfather, or your brother and his wife in another house, she gonna have to learn how to get at these tables and talk. Okay? Like, miss me with that. So in any event, so he's saying that, I just wanted to de-escalate the situation. And then he goes, I wanted to let them know that I did not appreciate what was going on. So basically he wanted to let them know that he didn't appreciate what was going on. So basically he caused the scene, and he was aggressive, he was angry, and the whole situation. That's why he caused, that's why he forced, and that's why he hit the table. And if he wanted to let people know that he didn't like what's going on, how come he couldn't speak like a civilized human being? How come he had to, gather, stand up, and act like there was something crazy going on, like there was wild cat fighting and there was ugly words being said? None of that was going on. And you did the most, and you did do too much, because you knew she was sinking and you knew she was drowning. And baby, you should have let her, defend herself to show, what she's working with, what she got. She had two shots and she failed at both. And you made her fail the first one. So in any event, so he's trying to make it. But when he said, I wanted to let them know I didn't appreciate what was going on, like he didn't like it, and they better stop it. Okay. So whatever. So basically they're saying that he is the good man that bring the camera on Kenya. And Kenya right now, they got her eating dust, they got her eating hay, they got her, eating her words, backtracking, not even saying how she felt in that moment, not how it bothered her, not how it could have brought flashbacks of when she was in her abusive relationship, or when she was in an abusive relationship when she was in her youth. There was no Andy talking about, Kenya, I understand, how you may have felt that way because you was involved in a bad relationship with Matt. You was in a bad relationship with Mark Daly. You was in a bad relationship with this person. And then, what you said, that you was traumatized because you ran away from home and something bad happened to you. So it was just like it was either her played a villain, like she was attacking this man, but there was no moment to understand where she was coming from. So that was just really shady in my opinion. But Kenya she ate crow and kept it moving. Let me see. I understand my list. Yeah, it's just a mess. Oh yes, everybody thinks he's right. Everybody thinks he's right. They think everything that he did was right. There was nothing wrong, you know. But there are some men that can protect their wife without unprotecting the other women around them. There are some men that know that, I'm not going to raise my voice. I'm not going to come off authoritative towards these ladies that don't know me, because I don't know what they've been through or whatever. But I just want this conversation to change. And how can I do that in an appropriate way, in a way that seems like I'm not hurting anybody's feelings, stepping on anybody's toes, or disrespecting anyone at all? I know I could communicate better. There's better ways to communicate. And there's other men that do know how to communicate that well. So it's basically said only way a black man that knows how to communicate is basically swearing and hitting the table and standing up and pushing his shirt up and knocking on the table and swearing and telling them to stop, and he's not gonna have this. That's the only way black men communicate. Like, come on. Like, y'all are doing it a disservice, because y'all not saying that there are better ways to communicate when you're trying to get a point across, especially if you're at a table with a bunch of women and you're all getting paid to eat, drink, and be catty. Okay. Like, but in any event, so Kenya basically said that she's fine with him. She likes him. She thought that he wasn't going to attack her or hurt anybody or threaten anybody. And she really thinks that he's a nice guy. And she also thinks that, she really admires the way that he stood up for his wife. So they made her eat crow, and Andy and the rest of them, especially Marlo, she loved every bit of it. Every bit of it. And Kandi talked about she wanted to get the EGOT and blah blah blah, the stage, blah blah. Then they talk about the buzzing, the punani, and Andy talked about having it on. And also they asked, what's her name, Miss Sonia, how did she, feel about the buzzing? She said, I was okay with the buzzing until I found out that Ralph was buzzing me. Then they asked Ross, so how did you feel about Ralph buzzing your wife? I didn't know he was even buzzing my wife until, we watch it on TV. So he's not the brightest guy, that's for sure. And he's so protective, but another man is buzzing your woman, poo poo, boo boo, ooh ooh. cuckoo, and you don't even know. Oh, you're very connected. Okay, that should have been something that you should say. Hey, stop effing buzzing my mother effing wife. Okay, that's the situation. But no, we're gonna talk aggressive to the ladies. Okay. So in any what's up, what's up, Nunu? Andy Jones of Kenya. You know what it is, black girl. You know what it is, black girl. What's up, Nunu Scott? How you doing? I wanted Sonia and Ross to go ASAP. I want Sonia and Ross to go ASAP. I don't agree with that. Ross was wrong. I do not agree with that. Ross was wrong. I don't know why everybody like I'm like the person sinking and drowning in the ship that believes that he's wrong. And I'm not doing that because I like Kenya. I'm doing that because it was wrong. And he still didn't apologize. Nobody apologized to her. Like, she apologized to Ralph, you know. Even Marlo apologized to, Todd. She ended up, basically giving him kind words, you know. And just so much. For real, for real. So in any event, yeah, I hate that Kenya felt that she had to clean up what she said about Ross just to keep the peace. Yes, because the whole gang was ganging up on her. That's number one. They made it basically like, oh my God, you're trying to hurt this black man and you putting out that negative stereotype towards the black man. And we know that does happen. But at this time, in this moment, it should have been, if they didn't want to use the regressive, they it could have been said that, hey, listen, maybe he wasn't aggressive, he was this. And Ross said, maybe I was, blah blah blah. But it's like no one even felt anything for her. It was just like, oh. And they're not even putting in everything that she's been through with a man. And she basically said, I feel like, I'm not here I don't have anybody to defend me. And it was like, I went on deaf ears, just like, oh, just terrible. So in any event, moving on from that, and then Ross he responds, and because so he was asked basically, what do you think about what Kenya said about you, calling you aggressive? And he goes, I understood where she was coming from. But it wasn't that. But he said, I understood where she was coming from. Kandi couldn't understand. Todd couldn't understand. A1 couldn't understand. Don Juan couldn't understand. Shereé couldn't understand. Marlo couldn't understand. And Drew couldn't understand. And and Sonia couldn't understand. Shereé, none of them. Not even Andy. But he understood because he know how he came off. Only a person that knew that they came off fucked up to a person would say, I understood. Nobody else wanted to even say I understood, or she even had a point. It was like off with her freaking head. Like we watching Game of Thrones or House of Dragons. Like what? I was like, ooh wee. So in any event, moving on from that situation, talked about Kandi, and then also the situation with Kandi and having her play. That was one thing. And also not wanting her husband to move on or be with anybody else, because basically she wants to keep the money into the family. Okay, she wants to keep the money in the family. And she says that her family has been scorned once by a person that took money. The grandmother died or something like that and married this man, and then the grandmother died, the grandfather was still alive, and then he remarried, and then he died, and that woman took that money and put it somewhere else. So that's what she's basically saying, that she been burnt. So basically she don't want Todd to marry anybody else, because then some of the kids' inheritance and what the kids are going to get can be jeopardized if he does get married. Todd was like, girl, I thought you was gonna say because you love me, you don't want me with anybody else. Todd is eating crow too as well. He be eating them crows, but he liked the crow that he eating because he's counting all the way to the bank. Okay. And he's getting opportunities and doing things that are happening a lot of faster by, being with his wife, being with Kandi. So there's some good and some bad. In every marriage, there's some good and some bad. There's some things that you got to take. It is what it is. And Todd was asked about his daughter, like, why does Kayla, gotta struggle and, Riley lives good? He go, cause I'm from the Bronx and, this is how it's going to be. So, I'm teaching her character. I'm teaching her this. She's doing this. She's doing that. The condo in New Jersey is fixed. So basically he said his daughter is going to work and she's going to appreciate the dollar. You know what I mean? She's going to have to appreciate hard work and know how to save money and things of that nature. So it is what it is. And Marlo apologized, to Todd for something. She basically apologized saying that she feels like, Todd is cheating. She just basically says, I feel like everybody man's cheating, but also to make an allegation on a TV show where people talk about it, analyze this show and say that somebody's husband is cheating when you don't got proof, when you don't got the information. Then you got Shereé following along and basically she created a story to get at Kandi, but yet she wants to use her childhood and everything that she's been through, to, say that it's an excuse. So you're supposed to forgive her when she knows that she's doing wrong. You know what I mean? So it's just one of them situations. She made it hot because a lot of people do appreciate Marlo this season. They feel like Marlo brought the heat. They feel like Marlo being low down and dirty and being shisty, talking about people's relationship, their marriages and everything when she ain't even got a man in sight. No man would be sitting up here filming with her unless, you already know. So in any event, she wants to keep that all on the low. She want to keep this and that, but yet she's just in everybody else's relationship, talking about everybody else and bringing shit in that ain't true. So, it's just one of them situations. Like, Lord, so Marlo been apologizing up a storm. She said she apologized to Todd, and that's the whole situation with that. I'm just like, Lord, they just be doing the most. So in any event, and the Shereé basically she omitted to that when she said the streets be talking and all this other stuff and the streets be moving out here, that she heard through the grapevine and basically saying that, Kandi better keep an eye out on Todd because I would too. She better be cautious. And basically Shereé just used that as basically another fake storyline, another fake thing to talk about. Like she knew what was going on, like she got information out there or anything else. She said, I was just piggybacking off of Marlo. Okay, the girl that's dating this guy right here, the girl that was dating the convict. Kandi picked a good man, whether she had to propose to him, whether Kandi had to, give him an ultimatum. You know what I mean? She picked him. She chose him. And guess what? They still together and they're making moves after moves after moves after moves after moves after moves after moves. Okay? So Shereé and Marlo fall all the way to hell back. Fall all the way to hell back. It might not be perfect, but it's damn sure better than what Marlo got going on and what Shereé got going on. Shereé's creating a fake relationship with a guy that is for the streets. Okay, so just fall back. Just keep it moving, baby. Fall back. Don't talk about nobody relationship. I should be saying that stuff. And Kenya not having a friend on the show pissed me off. I know. I wish, what I was saying to myself in my head? I wish I could just come in to the show like Gazoo from the Flintstones and then talk my shit and then they just disappear me out, because it's just like, yo, it's so crazy. That does happen to families. That's true, Lorraine. Lakeisha, marriage is a work in progress. Yes, it is. Lorraine, he said that condo out. Yes, he did. That condo is on point. Robin Walker, Marlo too good for my taste, Lord. Miss Nina Bug, I am sick of Marlo. Apologies. It's all fake and phony. She goes to do the same thing next season. She's going to do the same thing next season. She's just going to keep on doing. Yes, she is. That's what she's going to do. That's what Marlo keeps doing. Marlo looked so stupid when they played her her package back, Lord. That was a mess. Saying saying all that low down stuff for no reason at all, no good reason at all. Just saying, just making shit up. Marlo made the show. That's what a lot of people say. Marlo made the show. You know, they saying without Marlo, without her being combative, without her playing the villain and using the most low down, dirty things that you can pick up from the sewer and throw at somebody, the show would have been boring. So that's what a lot of people are saying. But a lot of people are saying that, you know what, I would rather the show be boring than to have her, you know, sitting up there that don't know shit that she's talking about, paid her way to get in, ain't got a man to show us. We don't know nothing about her. She's like a stranger that been around for years and we just don't know who they are. Hey Sims, what's going on? Hey Window. Rashida La. Hey, Window. Okay. I am waiting for Marlo to turn on Sonya. You know that's gonna happen sooner or later. When Marlo gets desperate, that's when that's gonna happen. When Marlo gets desperate. And so, you know, so we got that whole situation out the way. And, you know, Todd wants his daughter Kayla to, you know, have a lesson, Blase the third. And they talked about Drew basically being gaslighted by her husband. And, you know, they go into, you know, showing all the clips of Drew losing the weight, Blase the third. And then they talk about Ralph writing his book. And did he fire his assistant? So Ralph said he did fire his assistant. And he said basically he's going to make sure he check with his wife, whoever he hires, and put her feelings first and put that woman first. That's what he wanted. He wanted to come out with that song, put her first, put that woman first. So in any event, so you have all that. And so Andy asked the guys, do you guys think it was funny about Ralph and, you know, the person that got him the book deal and the massage? And Ross says, do you think it's laughable? Because you guys laughed before. Ross said that, you know, it's still laughable. And Todd said, whatever Drew feels, that's how I feel. Okay. And then they asked Kenya, would Kenya want somebody to stand up for her like she stood up for Drew when it came to Ralph? And Kenya said it's a very tricky situation. You know what I mean? Get into people's business like that and Blase and the third, that could be very tricky. And, you know, it's not, sometimes it can go the wrong way, but she did apologize to Ralph. But at the same time, I thought they threw that question in to be shady because they was bigging up Ralph, you know, for protecting his wife. And it was like, Kenya, would you want somebody to protect you? I think they said, would you want somebody to, or they asked Drew, would you want somebody to stick up for you like Kenya stuck up for you? Oh no, the question was, asking her to, having someone to stand up to Mark, you know, like the way she did Ralph. And, you know, that was like a shady question. That didn't even need to be really brought up again. And then, you know, Kenya just said it's 50-50 because, you know, it's tricky. You don't step into that situation. Then they asked, why didn't nobody, you know, stand up for Ralph when Kenya Moore attacked, you know, Ralph? And Kenya was like, attacked? And then Andy said, confront. I was like, she corrected that right away, like, Lord. And so, you know, Sonya, she said, I told her. Sonya was like, I told her. Sonya was like, I told Kenya that she was wrong. I told her that she was wrong. Okay, you know, Sonya was trying to get in there. She was like, I told her that she was wrong. And Ralph, you know, how they asked Ralph how did he feel about, you know, people kind of like Marlo attacking him and him talking about the adoption. He was like, he thought the people that was going to support him and things of that nature. He didn't know it was going to go the route that it did go. So it was just like, And Sonya, she was like, I tried to. And then the question was asked, the next question was asked, why is everybody coming for Drew? Why is everybody coming from Drew? And the person said, why is everybody coming from Drew? 1 minute I think that Kandi is, you know, Drew's friend, and I think that Kenya is her friend, but then they turn around and they act like they don't even know her, and basically saying they act like they don't even have her back. I didn't already explain that earlier, the reason why. So that question was definitely asked. And, you know, and then Kandi was like, well, I kind of do. Kandi was like, I kind of do. So a lot of people are kind of like, but people forgetting that, you know, Kandi don't stick her neck out like that like she used to. And then I think she saw how Marlo was really like pushing, going below. She was trying to avoid all arguments with her. And Marlo at that table, Kandi jumped in, and Kenya, was singing in a choir behind Kandi when that situation went down. But it's just like it was, they was like tell Drew gotta handle her own business, baby. When we go to blow and toe to toe, you gotta handle your business. And then they talked about Drew's business, drop it with Drew. And so Kandi, they was like, how come you guys didn't really kind of like support the girl? And Kandi was saying basically because like we didn't know if the shit was real. She came to us acting like this was her idea, like she came up with a plan and things of that nature. Like this was she created this one day. Kenya jumped in and she said, yeah. She said it's like she was the founder, so she chimed in. And then Marlo, she chimed in too as well, and she chimed in when Kandi was talking, like it was her. When Kandi said it, she was acting like this was her, like she started this, and Marlo said like her business. So you already know Drew, like you said, Drew gonna have to get tough skin, and she gonna have to work on her reads. But in any event, Drew was like, well, the doors, I opened the doors for you guys to come and ask questions. I was looking for constructive criticism. I was looking for help. I was looking for support. I was looking for something. Drew, you was just looking for a storyline, girl, and you should have just made it clear. But Drew, sometimes she wants to double talk and sing bigger than what it is, and I don't think she should have did that. Even if she was partners with the people, she could have just said, right now, I'm trying this. I didn't invent this. She could have better worded herself, but at the same time, the way Marlo came for her too, her back was up against the wall. They don't question the partner. They don't question the girl that is dropping and everything. Got the information that she is just the face. And then boom, like that whole situation with Drew, drop it with Drew just went away. I don't know if the lady that was using Drew for the face of it didn't like the publicity that it got. It looked negative or whatever the case may be. Drew said that she was looking for support. She wasn't looking for people to call her and talk behind her back. So she's basically saying the ladies were talking about behind her back about dropping with Drew. It was no support there. It was just like, she didn't get the same support that Shereé got for, she by Shereé. And then she's also saying that, when it came to Shereé called her, a busted, a busted, but a busted can of biscuits. And Shereé was like, yes, I definitely did call her busted can of biscuits. Shereé did apologize. Because Shereé said, girl, I didn't know you had all these health issues going on. So my apology. Because Drew did have some health issues and things of that nature. So Shereé's like, my apologies. But she didn't really mean it. So, you know, so and then we got down to Ralph and Shereé going back and forth, and they asked Ralph how did he feel about Shereé talking about him and what she said in her confessionals about him and things of that nature. And Ralph was saying he did not like it. He did not like the way that Shereé was coming at him, what Shereé was saying about him. And Shereé was like, what? What? And Ralph was like, she's basically saying that I'm gay, and she knows for a fact that I'm not gay. And Shereé was like, girl, I don't know if you gay, or if Shereé was like, I don't know for a fact if you're gay or not gay. I just believe that you ain't gay. And Ralph said that I want you to give me the same respect that I give you in return. And so basically he said Shereé don't give him no respect. And Shereé was like, well, your assistant was coming out and was saying this and saying that about you, was carrying messages. And Ralph was saying, I don't want you carrying messages. Then Shereé said, well, your wife was carrying messages. But he was like, basically, it's different. The message that you was carrying about my sexuality, and basically why you said that, Drew threw the dog bone like a dildo. And so Shereé was like, oh my God, I apologize for saying that was Ralph dildo, basically insinuating that he was gay. Because what is a man doing with a dildo unless he's using it on a woman? And most men, some men do and some men don't. This is a different time. There's a lot of sex toys everywhere, okay? And the way that Shereé was insinuating is like, that's his dildo. And if he's packing, what is he using that dildo for? Sometimes people use dildos to, get it on and popping. And so Shereé apologized for saying that. So he was basically calling her out. And Shereé said, I apologize. And Ralph was like, there's a lot of things that you tried to basically use gay as a slur to shame me. I mean, to shame Drew that her husband's gay. Like how cool is that? That's not cool. And then Shereé was like, well, that was your assistant saying that. And so they was going back and forth. And so Drew said, Shereé, you need to worry about she by she don't, she by she not, she by she not here, she by no. So, you got all that going on. Yes, it was pretty much. Pretty much. Lorraine, yes, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It would be greatly appreciated. Oops, I mean prenup. It was so boring. The show feels like it's over. I know. I don't know. They're saying they're recasting the same cast, but in any event, so we had them going back and forth, Ralph and Shereé going back and forth, and Ralph basically saying that he didn't appreciate it, he didn't like it, and then that was that situation. So Shereé can't remember nothing. Shereé acting like she don't know what she says, like she got Alzheimer's. Drew, she stood up to let you know that she's not a busted can of biscuits, and she stood up and she looks nice. And it was like the shot that I captured just looked like, I hope Ralph is satisfied with her. He just looks like he's turned off. And so you have that whole situation. So Ralph and Shereé going back and forth. And I know Shereé wish she wasn't going back and forth with a man, but they left that door open for the women now to battle the men because they didn't want to protect one woman, from a husband doing too much. So now the newcomers are going to approach y'all, and what y'all going to do? Say it's wrong, but yet you're going to say Ross is, doing it and doing it okay. So we have all that situation. So we could get down to Ralph. He's saying he's taking a different approach to treating Drew when it comes down to the situation, because when he at dinner and blah blah blah, that whole situation, he's sorry, that happened, that went down. He's gonna tread a lot lighter. He's gonna please her. He's gonna ask her what she wants, and blase the third. They talked about the gaslighting, just and they're both still in counseling. They're both still in therapy. And Ralph is saying all the right words. He's saying all the right things that he should do. It seems like at this moment right now, he's taking ownership, and, he's seeing what his wife has gone through. But let's see how long that lasts. Okay. Let's see how long that stays. Okay. And so they talked about Ralph writing the book, and basically, Ralph writing the book about Josiah. And, Ralph said, yes, I'm writing a book about Josiah. And then, Andy's being messy. Like, it was a surprise to Drew. Drew didn't even know about the book. Like, and Drew was like, yes, it was totally. So in this moment, Drew should have protected Ralph a little bit more. Once Drew said that, it's a difference because, Ralph treats his biological kids different than he treats his kids there. So it kind of like she threw him under the bus when he was basically, tonight was the night that Ralph actually didn't do anything to, make Drew look bad. This is the first time since him and Drew been in a scene together, been a place together, where Ralph did not make Drew look bad, And then Drew, I guess Drew just, she just, maybe she can't express it to him at home. They don't have these conversations. She just said, well, and she's being honest, and this is an honest moment from Drew. We say we don't get honest moments from Drew, but this is an honest moment where she said that he treats, he treats Josiah differently. It's just something different about how you treat a biological child. And to me, that's like one of the worst statements that you can say about somebody, because it's like, damn, you treating two kids differently. Like, damn, you got to really be a effed up person to do that too as well. You know what I mean? It's like you want to treat your kids equal, but sometimes it's hard to treat the kids equal, all kids equal, if they are your stepkids or whatever, because now you're taking on that role, married his mother and things of that nature. And you've been in his life and you've been his only father even before you had kids. And now that you do have kids, now you're treating him differently. It's just really found really effed up. You know what I mean? And so Drew was honest, and she was truthful in that moment and told the world how she feels. And I would say she needed to protect him in that moment, but at the same time, she has to possibly protect her relationship with her son Josiah, because if things go wrong and that book has the worst effect, or that book is awful, he's going to look at his mother. Why did you allow this to happen? You brought this man into our life. I was here before Ralph. So it's a catch-22 with that situation. But if you ever thought, this was an honest moment from Drew. And so, so this is definitely a honest moment from her. And so we got to see that. And then Ralph said, that he wished that, he didn't get the reception that he did get from Marlo. But in any event, he says there's 3 reasons why you should not adopt, a child. He only gave us 2. So he can't even remember the shit that he be saying half the time. That's another thing. He played for Rockets, and he's a quarterback, and that came out to be not true. He was a bench warmer. Then he said he was allergic to garlic. And Drew was like, my mama been cooking with garlic since she's been here the whole entire year. Like, so sometimes he just do too much, just like his wife do too much. And but he does too much that is always in the favor of making Drew look bad. Drew does too much, sometimes making her husband look bad, but also, trying to, clap back at the girls that are coming at her. But in any event, he says if the father doesn't want, to have any parental rights, or if he's dead, and then that's it. And he was lost in the sauce. But then he let us know that he's going on a book tour, and he's bringing the guys with him. Okay. So he's bringing the guys with him. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like Drew didn't know shit about that situation. And also Andy's all surprised, like he wants to go on a road trip too. Okay. So we got Kandi husband, Kandi husband, you know what I mean, planning a trip without letting Kandi know. Kandi got them hours for you to be watching them kids talk. Where you think you going? Where you think you escaping to? Okay. Candy's all nervous, shaking in her boots. Now, where this man going? He better not get no damn independence. And Sonya didn't say no. And Sonya was like, oh, where you going? It's just way too much. And so, in any event, you have that whole situation. We got Marlo saying, sorry. I'm sorry for 2000 and I'm sorry for 2022. What's that song by Ruben Stutter? I'm so sorry. That we got Marlo doing a sorry. Like what's going on? So we got Marlo, she's doing the sorry. She's sorry, for what she said to Todd. And Kandi basically saying that, she apologized to Michelle Obama, okay? She apologized. She didn't want to make it look like that. And Andy done teased Kandi, making her think that Michelle Obama responded to the comment. Michelle may go high, but I go low, down in the dirt with you. And Marlo apologized for basically saying that Kandi doesn't help out the community, and things of that nature. So Marlo was on her she's apologizing, and things of that nature. So it is what it is. Marlo was doing her thing, baby. She's basically trying to save face and, damage control and keep things going, and what it is. And so Marlo and Shereé was asked the question, why do you guys think that Kandi should be the friend that you want Kandi to be to you guys? Have you guys been that friend to Kandi? And Marlo didn't even answer the question. I didn't even think Marlo responds. And then Shereé says, well, we're not Shereé. And so Shereé was like, I haven't been that good friend to her, but in the beginning, I was that good friend with her. When we first started, I was a good friend with her. I told her everything. I was cool with her and everything else. And then Kandi said, what you mean? No, you wasn't. When Kim said that I wanted to eat her box, and, Kim really became, I think Shereé allowed Kim to become between her and Kandi's relationship. And Shereé chose Kandi. I mean, Shereé chose Kim, in my opinion. And Shereé was always running up behind Kim, like Kim was like this grand superstar, baby. Kim only had you on her show one time. You the only housewife that she invited, Lord. Oh, well, from Atlanta. So they was going back and forth. And then Kandi said, no, you did this. And Shereé said, well, I was telling you everything until up until this. And so then Shereé said, vice versa. You was telling me at one point in time, then you stopped. And I did the same thing. So it is what it is. Shereé's like, up front that she don't mess with Kandi. She don't see it for Kandi like that. And if she get a moment to snap and, be shady towards Kandi and call her out, she would, but she will smile and grin in Kandi's face as well. Okay. She's a smooth operator. She's a smooth imitator, you know. And so, Todd. So we got the situation with Todd, Mr. Todd Tucker. He's going back and forth when it comes to, your girl. Um, when it comes back to your girl Marlo. So they having that whole situation. Todd looked like he tired. He's still hungover a little bit. And basically, they got this whole situation going on where, Todd and Marlo, they go back and forth, and Todd is calling her thirsty and this and that. And she's like, what you mean thirsty? What you mean thirsty, baby? What you mean thirsty? So, Todd basically is getting his get back at Marlo. And so Todd was like, yeah, you was thirsty, basically calling her thirsty, telling that, Marlo had to pay for her own plane ticket and she had to pay for her own expenses out here in these streets. And he basically said, you brought your way in, girl. You forgot. You must have forgot that I used to work behind the scenes. So when they went to Africa, you had to pay your way. You had to pay to get in here. You had to pay to play, baby. You want to, I was like, Lord. Excuse me. So and Marlo's like, I had to pay for my room. What did I have to pay for? That's news to me. And then you got Andy sitting right here. Andy said, apparently you did. And Andy was co-signing Todd and saying, yes, Todd, you were telling the truth because she did pay. Then, Marlo tried to say, oh, did I pay for my hotel room? That's probably one thing that she didn't pay for, but she remembered she had to pay for her flight. Todd said you had to pay for every single one of your expenses to be in Africa. Okay. So Todd is saying that you was holding on to dear life. And this is why some people don't feel like you don't belong in this circle or whatever the case may be, because there was nothing genuine about you that you had to offer. So you had to pay to play. You had to pay to watch. You had to pay to be a part. But it was a good pay that she did. She invested in herself and now she got a peach. And she keep up social media, and she's getting jobs here or there, so it paid off, y'all. What you're saying, I believe Lorraine Mark is lying like he did to Kenya, making folks think he has what he did not. That's why Kenya felt okay to marry him. Besides, he lied. B strokes. Marlo acted fool all season, but at the reunion, she wanted to be apologetic. I don't believe it. There you go, B strokes styling girl. For real, for real. Marlo was putting on a show. She was, baby. Lorraine. Mark is most definitely a mark at Robin Walker, probably a broke one too, as that B stroke styling. Todd wasn't lying though. He wasn't, girl. Robin Walker, that's why you can't buy into Marlo BS. Besides, afterwards speaking ish, she apologized for all she said. A narco. Okay, Lorraine, Robin Walker, exactly. LSW. If it wasn't for Phaedra, he wouldn't not have met his wife. Oh Lord, if it wasn't for Phaedra, if it wasn't for Phaedra, Lord. And Todd was asked, did he call Kandi a country bumpkin? And damn well Todd said no. Like he would say yes. Like he would confirm anything that Marlo says. Okay, like come on. Like come on. He ain't confirming you, Marlo. Marlo knew he wasn't going to confirm it, but she put it out there and that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to shock people, what can go viral, what can get a moment, because Marlo, she came to play. If she came to pay to be on the show, baby, that means that, getting her peach, she was going to do all the above to basically check off all checklists to make sure she get that peach. And then Marlo went back and forth again. and the situation. Marlo. Now she's coming at Kandi, and Marlo has no idea what she's talking about, what she's saying. I don't think she even understand. I think she's on that yak. I think she's on that crack. So what the Marlo is ridiculous. Marlo's acting like they're, her and Kandi, she's on the same level as Kandi. They know her, but you never know. They might know her out there in them circles. What circles? Okay. She said when it comes to Paris, Rome, Felipe, Donda, or whatever the case may be, that she can get into these doors that Kandi can't get into. She got more access than Kandi. Maybe if Kandi goes into a hip hop or R&B room, she'll get into them doors. But the people I exclusively go see and be hanging around with, Kandi will have a hard time getting in. And everybody's just looking at her like, girl, you are crazy. You are crazy. You already seen that Sonya. So the loyalty is Shereé didn't say shit about this ludicrous statement that Marlo is making, nor did Sonya. And even Juice Adore was like, come on, man, what are you talking about? What, huh? And Marlo was believing it. Like, Marlo, did you get high? Did you smoke? I get high, I get high, I get high, I get high. Like, what's going on? Marlo's basically saying that, baby. I don't know if Marlo's saying that the circles that she might be in, Kandi can't get into them circles. I don't know what she talking about. I don't know what circles that she be in and all this other stuff, baby. We see you on Instagram. What circles? You are in the regular hotels, baby. Even sharing rooms. Like, don't even go there, girl. Don't even go there, girl. Like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting here lying? Just eat it up. I know you probably feel like, because you probably only see yourself around Caucasian or Asians or people of whatever persuasion that's over there, and you might be the only one in the room that's from Florida and black, that you think Kandi's not invited. It's exclusive to you. These people got your head. Are we on them psychedelics? Like, what's going on? And Marlo was like steadfast in the situation. Marlo was just running her mouth like crazy, like, girl. And Kandi didn't even have to ask, and Andy's just like, what? Like, this girl, like, he was like, you know what? Maybe I can't use Marlo because she's really delusional. Like, what's going on? I was like, what, Marlo? Marlo was running her mouth, baby. Marlo was running that mouth. Marlo was not gonna stop. Lord. Marlo was not going to stop. Marlo was like, what? I'm telling you, Andy, yes, sir. She can get into them other circles, but I get into these circles. Okay. So what y'all think? Kandi said she worldwide, baby. This is a mess. I believe that is the only true gutter Marlo told this year. It sounds like Todd from NY. Yes, he's from New Jersey. Oh yeah, sitting down. She looked like she naked sitting down. But her dress, Kenya Moore's dress, and Sonya dress, I believe came all from the same designer, and it was a black designer too as well. And Drew got her dress from a black designer as well, because the designers were showing the dresses. And so when it comes to Sonya didn't have a custom made, she picked it out. Like, she picked this shit. So Sonya actually went to the designer's website and picked this dress, y'all. Lord. So that's like basically it with the whole situation with the Africa. Marlo basically still thinking that she's more important than Kandi. So that really just tells you how Marlo feels about Kandi. Marlo thinks Kandi is shit. She thinks she's better than Kandi, and she wants to put Kandi down in any way that's possible and say that mess. Like, that's just ludicrous. And then Andy asked Todd, how do you feel to be below Kandi's tax bracket? And Todd said, we're all under Kandi's tax bracket. And then Marla said, "Nuh-uh, not Andy Coin, not Andy Cohen, not Andy Cohen." She was like, "Oh, she don't got more money than Andy. She ain't got more." I was like, "Girl, like she just really hates Kandi." Like, Kandi, stop taking these apologies from this girl. This girl want to drag you and do whatever. But Marlo's probably saying she's doing it in the name of saving the show. You know what I mean? Marlo's probably saying, "I'm doing it to save the show." Like they people like to see me beef with you. At one point in time, they like to see me beef with Kenya. So in any event, Marlo's only gonna beef with somebody's worth her while, and she knows all the tricks and she knows all the books. Okay. Marlo tripping it for real, for real, for real, for real. Sonya just was trash. Right. Robin, Marlo's tripping for real. Yes, she is. Sonya just don't look good sitting or standing. Facts, Lorraine, facts. Robin Walker, probably so, but I can't see past her mouth. Lorraine, they know her in the escort world, allegedly. Ooh, Lord, Lord. Lord. Marlo dress looks good sitting down. Robin Walker, I believe Lorraine. Marlo dress look good sitting down. She look like she's ready to do a show, baby. I believe that is the only true gutter Marlo told this year. It sounds like Todd from NY. Lorraine, I believe that he did. I think Todd did. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for coming through. Much love to all my peeps and my peoples. You guys have a good night. You guys have a safe night. Thank your, count your blessings, and be happy of what you have and who you have in your life, and also cherish each and every one of your family members, the people you love, the people that you care for, because we talked about Brooke Bailey's situation tonight, and that's really a tragic situation that Brooke Bailey lost her daughter Saturday night, and she's only 25 years old. So, life of tomorrow is not promised to us. So if we can make amends, if we can, do things to make our life better, and, mend wounds with people that we do love, or also tell the people that we do love them and we appreciate them, and show them that we care by action and not just words sometimes, and just be thankful that you are waking up and you do have your family with you, because in a blink of an eye, everything can change, and you go from happiness to sorrow. So just thank God every day and pray, that you have protection over yourself, protection over your life, protection with your family, and protection from car accidents and these things that happen, when we venture and just live life. So make sure you have all your armor on, that you be shielded from all this negativity and danger. So peace and love. I love each and every one of y'all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you for supporting the channel. And also thank you for becoming a member. I really do appreciate it. It really helps. And thank you so much. God bless. Love you all.